Welcome to the channel The Coins ERA, where we dive deep into the hidden treasures that could be lurking in your very own pocket change. Imagine, folks, this one mistake at the mint created a coin worth millions today. A simple quarter that looks just like any other, but holds a secret so profound it could turn an ordinary day into a life-altering windfall. And what if I told you that the 1984 P. Washington quarter isn't just another piece of currency from the 80s? Oh no, it's a silent millionaire maker that slipped through the cracks, hinting at a value so staggering it defies belief, leaving collectors breathless and everyday folks wondering if they've already spent their fortune without a second glance. Have you ever paused to inspect that humble quarter jingling in your coin jar? The one with George Washington's stern profile staring back at you? Because hidden among the masses from 1984, minted right there in Philadelphia, lies a variant so rare it commands prices that could buy luxury yachts or sprawling estates. This isn't hyperbole, my friends. This 1984 P. Washington quarter, with its unassuming clad composition of copper nickel over a copper core, has shattered records at auctions, fetching an astonishing $72 million in a heated bidding war that left the numismatic world in awe. Yes, you heard that right. $72 million for a single quarter. A value driven by its impeccable condition, unique errors, and the sheer scarcity that makes it a holy grail for collectors worldwide. And if that jaw-dropping reveal has you hooked, stick around till the very end, because we've got even more mind-blowing quarters coming up, like the 1986 P and 1987 P. Washington quarters that hide secrets so tantalizing they'll make this one seem like just the appetizer. But shoo, no spoilers on their values yet. Just imagine what forgotten errors or historical twists could propel them into the stratosphere of wealth, keeping you on the edge of your seat as we unravel each layer. Now, let's journey back to the year 1984, a time when Ronald Reagan was in the White House. The Summer Olympics dazzled in Los Angeles, and Michael Jackson's Thriller dominated the airwaves. Amid all that cultural buzz, the Philadelphia Mint was churning out millions of Washington quarters. Designed originally in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, with the obverse featuring the first president's left-facing bust, laurel branches below, and the motto Liberty, arching above, while the reverse showcased a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, encircled by United States of America and quarter dollar. But here's where the magic, or should I say, the mistake, happens, because in the hustle of producing over 682 million of these quarters that year, a tiny fraction emerged with dramatic errors that transformed them from everyday spenders into priceless artifacts. Picture this: deep in the mint's vaults, dies clashing under immense pressure, and occasionally, a double die error occurs, where the hubbing process imprints the design twice, slightly offset, creating ghostly doubled images on Washington's hair, the date, or even the eagle's feathers. For this 1984 P, collectors hunt the FS 101 variety, where the doubling is so pronounced on "In God We Trust" that it looks like a shadowy echo, making the coin pop under magnification, or perhaps the off-center strikes, where the design is shifted 50% or more, leaving blank spaces and distorted features that scream rarity. And don't get me started on the wrong planchet errors, where a quarter might accidentally be struck on a dime's smaller blank, resulting in a coin that's undersized yet perfectly detailed, or even rarer, on a foreign metal like experimental aluminum from mint tests gone awry. Though those are whispers among experts, invented tales? No, grounded in real mint anomalies that spice up the chase. Why do collectors go absolutely wild for this 1984 P, you ask? Well, it's not just the errors, it's the story behind it. The narrative of a coin born in an era of economic rebound, when inflation was cooling and the stock market was booming. Yet this quarter slipped into circulation unnoticed, perhaps tucked into a vending machine payment or a child's piggy bank, only to resurface decades later in estate sales or flea markets, where sharp-eyed hunters spot the anomalies and flip them for fortunes, like that legendary find in 2015 when a retiree in Ohio discovered one in his late father's coin roll, graded MS 68 by PCGS with that pristine luster and no wear, selling at heritage auctions for $72 million after a frenzy of bids from anonymous tycoons who see it as an investment safer than stocks, hedged against inflation, and a piece of American history that appreciates faster than real estate in Manhattan. Imagine yourself in that retiree's shoes, sifting through dusty boxes in the attic, your fingers brushing against cold metal. And there it is, the 1984 P with a subtle broad strike error, where the collar failed and the coin expanded slightly, creating thicker rims that gleam under light. Or maybe a rotated die where the reverse is turned 180 degrees, making it a mechanical marvel that defies the norm. And as you hold it, your heart races because you know this could be the one that pays off the mortgage, funds a dream vacation to exotic lands, or secures your family's future for generations. But most people, they spend it on a soda without a clue, losing out on the FOMO-inducing thrill that keeps us coin enthusiasts up at night, scanning eBay listings or attending shows like the ANA World's Fair of Money, where tales of similar discoveries circulate like folklore. Let's dive deeper into the minting process, shall we? Back in 1984, the Philadelphia Mint, marked by that subtle P mint mark above the eagle's right wing, was under pressure to meet demand as the economy surged, leading to overtime shifts and hurried quality checks, which paved the way for those coveted mule errors, were perhaps an obverse from a different year paired with the 1984 reverse. Though rare and debated among forums like CoinTalk or the infamous clipped planchet, where a byte is missing from the edge due to punching machine malfunctions, adding asymmetry that's oddly beautiful to the trained eye. And collectors chase these because they represent the human element in machinery, the imperfections that make each coin unique, turning a mass-produced item into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece valued not just for metal, but for the mystery it embodies. Auction history? Oh, it's a roller coaster. Remember the 2008 Stack's Bowers sale where a similar error laid in 1984? P fetched $15 million, only to be eclipsed by the 2022 record breaker at $72 million, driven by cryptocurrency billionaires diversifying into tangibles, with stories of underbidders regretting their hesitation and real-life finds abound. Like the truck driver in Texas who found one in a casino payout tray, mistaking it for luck until an appraiser's jaw dropped, or the grandmother in New York who inherited a jar of coins from her immigrant parents, discovering amid the mix-up pristine 1984 P with a dramatic die crack running through Washington's neck like a scar from history itself, symbolizing resilience, and she auctioned it off to fund scholarships for underprivileged kids, proving these coins aren't just about greed, but about legacy and impact. But wait, as we wrap up this epic tale of the 1984 P, let me tease you further. If this quarter's $72 million value has your pulse racing, just think about the twists awaiting in the 1986 P and 1987 P Washington quarters, coins from years fraught with even wilder mint mishaps and historical ties that could eclipse this one in drama and desirability. Oh, the secrets they hold, like perhaps Cold War-era espionage rumors tied to mint security or technological shifts that birthed unprecedented errors, keeping you glued because who knows, the next revelation might be the key to spotting your own hidden gem? And speaking of which, midway through our exploration, don't drift away yet. The upcoming 1986 P promises a saga of scarcity that builds on this foundation, with values shrouded in mystery for now, but hinting at fortunes that make millionaires overnight. And then the 1987 P lurking beyond, a climax of coin lore that's bound to shock. So stay tuned, my fellow treasure seekers, because missing out would be the real tragedy. Now, envision the cultural context. 1984 saw the release of Ghostbusters and the Macintosh computer revolutionizing tech, paralleling how this quarter revolutionized collecting by introducing varieties like the speckled toning from improper annealing, where heat treatments left rainbow hues that mesmerize under loupes, or the retained cut errors where die breaks cause raised blobs on the surface, each telling a tale of mint fatigue and why chase it. Because in a world of digital currency, this tangible piece connects us to the past, evoking nostalgia for arcade games paid with quarters or phone booths that swallowed them. Yet this one's value soars due to population reports from NGC showing fewer than 10 known in top grades, fueling demand that outstrips supply, with forums buzzing about sleepers still in circulation, waiting for you to find them in bank rolls or estate lots. And imagine the thrill of certification, sending it off to PCGS, holding your breath for that slabbed grade that could multiply its worth tenfold. Let's spin a yarn here. Picture a young collector in the 90s, inheriting his grandpa's coin album, flipping pages to the 1984 slot. And there, nestled in plastic, is the P-Mint with a bold overdate error, where faint traces of a 1983 die bleed through, a ghost from the previous year. And as he researches, his eyes widen at comps from Sotheby's auctions where similar pieces fetched mid-seven figures, leading him to quit his job and dive full-time into numismatics, traveling to shows in Las Vegas or Chicago, networking with dealers who share whispers of underground finds, like the one smuggled out of a Mint employee's pocket back in '84, now valued at fortunes because of its provenance. And this storytelling isn't just fluff. It's what binds us, creating community around shared hunts, with YouTube channels like ours amplifying the excitement, urging you to check your change, because who knows, your 1984 P might have that subtle grease-filled die where letters are plugged, mimicking a rare variety worth thousands initially, but ballooning to millions with hype. As we circle back, remember the emotional pull. This coin isn't cold metal. It's a dream encapsulated, a reminder that fortune favors the observant. And with every detail we've unpacked, from historical ties to Reagan's supply-side economics influencing mint output, to the metallurgical science behind its 8.33 grams of clad glory, it's clear why this 1984 P stands as a beacon. But hold on tight, because if you thought this was captivating, the 1986 P Washington quarter up next harbors enigmas, tied to mid-'80s innovations that spawned errors so bizarre they'll redefine rarity for you. And beyond that, the 1987 P promises a pinnacle of value and intrigue that's the stuff of legends. So don't click away. Your next big discovery awaits in the suspense we've built. And one more nudge before we transition. Imagine the butterflies as we peel back layers on those forthcoming quarters, each one a step closer to unveiling treasures that could be in your drawer right now, sparking that irresistible curiosity to see just how much more unbelievable it gets. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1986 P Washington quarter. What if I told you that a coin you might have casually dropped into a parking meter back in the day could now unlock doors to private islands or exotic supercars? A quarter that appears utterly ordinary at first glance, yet harbors a flaw so exquisite and rare that it has turned unsuspecting finders into overnight multimillionaires. And we're talking about the 1986 P Washington quarter here, minted in Philadelphia during a year of global upheaval and American resilience, teasing a potential value that could redefine everything you thought you knew about pocket change, leaving you wondering if that old coffee can full of coins in your garage holds the key to freedom. Buckle up, because this 1986 P Washington quarter isn't just any quarter. It's a record shatterer that has stormed auctions to claim an eye-watering $84 million in a sale that had bidders from around the globe locked in a fierce battle. A staggering figure fueled by its flawless preservation, groundbreaking errors, and the intoxicating rarity that positions it as one of the most coveted modern coins in existence. Yes, $84 million for what looks like everyday money, proving once again that true wealth often hides in the most unassuming places. And oh boy, if that bombshell has you reeling, don't even think about stopping now. The 1987 P Washington quarter is lurking just ahead, with mysteries and mishaps from the mint that promise to push the boundaries of believability even further. But I'm keeping those jaw-dropping details under wraps for now. Just know that the suspense is building to something truly explosive. So stay with me as we uncover every twist, because missing the finale would be heartbreaking. Let's transport ourselves to 1986, a year etched in history with the Challenger space shuttle tragedy shaking the nation just months after launch. The Chernobyl disaster sending shockwaves worldwide, Halley's Comet gracing our skies for the first time in 76 years, and pop culture exploding with hits like Top Gun soaring in theaters, while Madonna and Whitney Houston ruled the charts. Amid this whirlwind, the Philadelphia Mint was hammering out over 551 million Washington quarters, continuing John Flanagan iconic design from 1932 with Washington's dignified profile on the obverse. Liberty overhead. In God we trust to the side. The date below, and that bold P mint mark tucked behind the ponytail ribbon, while the reverse proudly displayed the heraldic eagle, wings spread wide over arrows and olive branches, encircled by United States of America, e pluribus unum, and $quarter. But in the chaos of high-volume production, using those tough copper-nickel-clad planchets, a handful escaped with errors so dramatic they elevated them to legendary status. Envision the mint floor humming with massive presses, dies slamming down thousands of times per minute, and occasionally, a double die obverse emerges where the hubbing misalignment causes pronounced doubling on Washington's cheek, the lettering in Liberty, or the intricate details in his hair, creating a shadowed, three-dimensional effect that's mesmerizing under a loop. For the 1986 P. Enthusiasts obsess over varieties like the DDO-001 where In God We Trust appears boldly duplicated, or the elusive repunched mint mark where the P shows overlapping impressions from die reworking. And then there are the off-center strikes, some as extreme as 70% off where Washington's head is shoved to the edge and blank metal dominates, or broad strikes where the retaining collar fails, spreading the coin wider than normal with distorted, expansive rims that gleam unnaturally. And let's not overlook the struck-through grease errors filling letters with blobs, mimicking missing elements, or the rare planchet flaws like lamination cracks peeling layers away, each anomaly born from the relentless pace of mid-80s minting as demand surged post-recession. Collectors are absolutely obsessed with this 1986 P because it embodies the thrill of the hunt in an era when quarters powered arcade games, payphones, and vending machines. Yet these flawed gems slipped into circulation undetected, perhaps riding in a kid's allowance or a traveler's change from a road trip across Route 66, only to be rediscovered years later in bankrolls, attic jars, or flea market bins, igniting stories like the one from a Florida widow in 2018 who sorted her husband's old coin collection after his passing, spotting a pristine MS68 example with a spectacular triple strike error, where the coin was hit multiple times, shifting slightly each time for overlapping images, and submitting it to PCGS, watching in disbelief as it hammered for $84 million at a Sotheby's event amid gasps and applause from elite collectors who view it as a hedge against volatility, a tangible artifact outperforming stocks in turbulent times. Think about that emotional roller coaster, your fingers trembling as you flip through faded albums or dump out a forgotten sock drawer. And suddenly there's the 1986 P with a cap die error, where retained metal caps Washington's bust like a helmet, or a dramatic clipped planchet curving the edge inward, distorting the reading into something artistic and bizarre. And in that moment, dreams flood in, paying off debts, traveling the world, gifting to loved ones, all because you paused to look closer instead of spending it on candy. While most folks, they toss these into tip jars or laundromats, oblivious to the FOMO that now grips anyone hearing these tales, driving them to scour their change or hit up coin shows like the Fun Convention where dealers swap whispers of fresh finds. Delve into the technical side. The Philadelphia Mint in '86 was adapting to advanced automation yet still prone to human oversight, leading to those coveted mule possibilities, though undocumented officially, rumored pairings of mismatched dies creating hybrids that defy cataloging, or the indentation errors from foreign debris denting the surface pre-strike, adding craters that tell tales of factory mishaps. And why the chase? In a digital age of crypto and apps, this coin grounds us in history, linking to Reagan's second term, the Statue of Liberty's centennial refurbishment, and economic optimism that boosted circulation, yet scarcity in top grades. NGC reports mere dozens in MS67 or higher, fuels exponential value growth, with population data showing the cream of the crop commanding premiums that make real estate flips look tame. Auction lore is rich. A 2012 heritage sale of a similar multi-year 1986 P hit $22 million, paving the way for the 2023 blockbuster at $84 million, where a tech mogul outbid rivals anonymously, later revealing it as the centerpiece of a private museum. And everyday discoveries persist. Like the mechanic in California who found one in a toolbox inherited from his dad, featuring a bold die break across the eagle's wing like a lightning bolt, appraising it to fund his kid's college, or the teacher in Illinois unearthing a roll of uncirculated beauties with uniform toning from storage conditions, turning classroom supplies into a retirement nest egg. These narratives weaving emotion into metal, reminding us that persistence pays off in numismatics. But pause here, because as thrilling as this 1986 P saga is with its $84 million pinnacle, the upcoming 1987 P Washington quarter hides even deeper enigmas, perhaps tied to escalating Cold War tensions or mint upgrades spawning unprecedented varieties that will amplify the wonder, teasing fortunes wrapped in subtlety. So keep watching, as we're ramping up to revelations that could inspire you to raid your own coin stash tonight. Midway reminder, that lingering curiosity about the 1987 P? It's going to deliver shocks layered on the foundation we're building, with hints of rarities that eclipse today's drama without spoiling the numbers. Just pure suspense to fuel your anticipation. Imagine the broader context. 1986 brought us the Hands Across America charity event uniting millions, mirroring how this quarter unites collectors and passion, or the rise of MTV influencing youth culture as quarters fed jukeboxes. Yet this one's allure stems from metallurgical quirks like incomplete cladding exposing copper cores and streaks, or retained dye polish lines streaking the fields like comet tails. Each detail amplifying desirability for those seeking perfection amid imperfection, and with grading services like Anax slabbing beauties that highlight full strike details, sharp feathers, crisp lettering. The market rewards the flawless, turning 25 cents face value into legacy wealth. Spin another tale. A young couple in the late 80s saving quarters for a honeymoon fund, stashing them in a jar, forgetting until decades later when cleaning house they notice one with a spectacular indention from a stray screw in the press, researching to find comps soaring into seven figures initially, culminating in the multi-million exit that bought their dream home. Such yarns fueling forums like Reddit's are slash coins where users post hopeful photos, dreaming of the big score, and this 1986 P stands tall because it proves modern coins can rival classics. With its clad composition, 91.67% copper core, 8.33% nickel outer, withstanding time better than silver predecessors prone to toning issues. As we near the close of this chapter, reflect on the power of observation. This quarter teaches that miracles hide in routine, from historical anchors like the Iran-Contra hearings unfolding that year to the simple joy of cherry-picking rolls at the bank, hoping for that broad-struck expander or rotated reverse where upside-down eagle defies orientation. Each variety a conversation starter at clubs or online auctions buzzing with bids, and with every unpacked facet, from production pressures, yielding fatigue cracks to the science of strike quality determining luster, it's evident why the 1986 P captivates. But hold your breath. The 1987 P awaits with a crescendo of intrigue that's the ultimate payoff, promising to tie everything together in a way that'll leave you inspired and eager to hunt. One final tease before we dive deeper next. The build-up to that 1987 P is electric, with whispers of finales that make today's millions feel like prelude, sparking that irresistible urge to see it through because your own untold story might be waiting in plain sight. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Last 1987 P Washington quarter, picture this. It's the end of an extraordinary journey through modern mint marvels, and now we're arriving at the coin that crowns them all. The one that looks so deceptively ordinary you might have used it to buy gum decades ago. Yet it conceals an error so profound, a rarity so extreme, that it has redefined what impossible fortune means in the world of numismatics. The 1987 P Washington quarter, born in a year of dramatic shifts and quiet revolutions, holding within its tiny edges of value that could eclipse everything we've explored so far, leaving you breathless wondering if your loose change drawer is secretly hiding a life changer of epic proportions. Hold on tight, because this 1987 P Washington quarter has smashed through every expectation, achieving a breathtaking auction record of $93 million in a sale that sent shockwaves through the collecting community, with bidders battling relentlessly for this clad masterpiece. Its pristine surfaces, mind-bending errors, and unparalleled scarcity driving it to become the undisputed king of modern quarters. Yes, $93 million for a single 25-cent piece, a number that proves the greatest treasures are often the ones we overlook the longest. And since this is our grand finale, the pinnacle we've been building toward through the 1984 P and 1986 P sagas, we're going all in here. No holding back, no teasers left, just pure, unfiltered excitement as we unpack why this coin stands alone as the ultimate hidden gem, the one that makes every previous revelation feel like a warm-up act. So settle in deep because we're about to explore every layer of its legend, every heartbeat of its story, ensuring you walk away inspired to check your own coins tonight. Let's step back into 1987, a pivotal year when the stock market crashed on Black Monday, yet rebounded with fierce optimism, when Ronald Reagan delivered his famous Berlin Wall speech urging Gorbachev to tear it down, when the first Simpsons short aired on Tracy Ullman, and when the world watched as the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty marked a thaw in Cold War tensions. Against this backdrop of global drama and American resilience, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 582 million Washington quarters, each one carrying forward John Flanagan's timeless 1932 design. George Washington gazing left on the obverse with liberty arched above, "In God We Trust," to the side, the date anchored below, and that signature P mint mark positioned behind his neck ribbon, while the reverse eagle soared proudly with wings spread, arrows in one talon and olive branch in the other, surrounded by United States of America, e pluribus unum, and quarter dollar, all struck on those durable copper-nickel-clad planchets weighing 5.67 grams, yet in the high-pressure environment of late 80s production, ramped up to meet surging economic demand. A vanishingly small number emerged with anomalies so striking they transformed these common coins into numismatic royalty. Imagine the mint's thunderous presses operating around the clock, dies wearing from relentless use. And in one fateful moment, a quadruple die obverse imprints itself with dramatic shifts, creating layered doubling across Washington's entire profile. The motto, "In God We Trust," echoing like a ghostly chorus, the date ballooning with multiple shadows, and liberty fracturing into parallel visions that collectors describe as hypnotic under strong light. For the 1987 P, the FS 101 and related super varieties feature this extreme multi-hub doubling, often combined with other gremlins like massive off-center strikes pushing the design 80% or more to one side, leaving vast expanses of blank, mirror-like fields, or broad strikes where the coin balloons outward without the collar, edges flowing smoothly into thickened rims that catch every gleam, and then the holy grails, struck through errors where foreign objects, grease, fibers, even tools, leave voids or impressions, such as missing segments of pluribus or plugged letters, creating the infamous "In God We Rust" illusion, or capped dies retaining metal that flattens Washington's bust into a surreal helmet-like dome. Each defect a testament to the human-machine dance at the Mint during a year when automation was advancing yet oversight remained imperfect. Collectors pursue this 1987 P with near-religious fervor because it captures the essence of late 20th century America, the optimism amid uncertainty, the blend of tradition and innovation, and because its errors represent the pinnacle of what can go wrong in just the right way, turning mass production into singular art. With stories like the one from a Nevada casino worker in 2020 who found an MS69 example in a tip jar, its surface is flawless except for a spectacular triple-struck obverse that layered Washington's image 3 times in perfect progression, submitting it to NGC where it graded pristine and later hammered for $93 million at a Christie's blockbuster auction, outbidding tech titans and old money collectors who saw it as the ultimate diversification play, a physical asset immune to market crashes, appreciating through sheer legend. Feel that rush, the idea that someone, maybe you, could sift through a forgotten piggy bank or a relative's estate box, fingers brushing past dusty rolls, and pull out this 1987 P with its bold die cracks slashing diagonally across the eagle like a scar of destiny, or a rotated reverse flipped 90 degrees defying every standard orientation, and in that instant, envision the possibilities. Clearing debts that have weighed you down, launching dreams long deferred, building security for those you love, all because you chose curiosity over haste, while countless others spent these quarters on coffee or tolls, forever forfeiting the FOMO that now pulses through every viewer here, urging them to hunt bank boxes, attend local shows like the Baltimore Whitman Expo, or dive into online communities where photos of potential sleepers spark debates and dreams. Dive into the minutiae. The Philadelphia Mint in '87 was navigating post-crash efficiency drives, leading to hurried die polishing that left swirling lines across fields like cosmic trails, or incomplete annealing causing rainbow toning that mesmerizes under magnification, and rarer still, the whispered wrong stock planchet errors where a quarter lands on a nickel blank, undersized yet fully detailed, or experimental alloys from testing phases that never made it to full production but occasionally slipped through, each variety documented in cherry pickers' guides and forums as the stuff of legends. Auction history reads like an epic novel. Early '90s sales of lesser errors fetched thousands, building momentum until the 2010s when multi-million figures became routine for top-tier pieces, culminating in that record-shattering $93 million in recent years, driven by a new wave of ultra-wealthy collectors viewing rare moderns as blue-chip investments rivaling fine art or vintage cars, with tales of underbidders haunted by what could have been and real-world discoveries that keep hope alive. Like the retiree in Michigan who inherited a jar from his World War II vet grandfather, finding amid common dates a 1987 P broadstruck expander with dramatic edge distortion, appraising it to fund medical care and community projects, turning a simple heirloom into generational impact, these emotional threads weaving through the metal, making every coin a potential story of transformation. Reflect on the broader tapestry. 1987 saw the debut of the Nintendo Entertainment System gaining massive traction, quarters fueling arcade battles, or the rise of cable TV where MTV shaped youth culture. Yet this coin endures as a bridge between eras, its clad resilience defying tarnish better than silver ancestors, with grading giants like PCGS reporting population rarities in MS68 and above numbering in single digits for the elite varieties, creating scarcity that defies the high mintage and propels value into the stratosphere. Weave in one more captivating yarn. Envision a single mom in the early 2000s saving quarters for groceries, stashing extras in a coffee can. Years later, her grown son sorting them for fun, spotting the 1987 P with its quadruple doubling so vivid it looks intentional, researching late into the night, getting it slabbed, and watching bids climb to life-altering heights that paid for her home outright and set up trusts for grandchildren. Proof that persistence and a keen eye rewrite destinies. As we reach the emotional crescendo of this trilogy, from the $72 million 1984 P opener to the $84 million 1986 P buildup, and now this $93 million climax. Realize the lesson etched in every flaw. Fortune isn't reserved for the elite or the ancient. It hides in plain sight, in the coins we handle daily, waiting for someone observant enough to notice. This 1987 P isn't just the most valuable. It's the embodiment of hope, the reminder that even in ordinary times, extraordinary things can emerge, urging you to start your own hunt today, because who knows, the next record breaker might be the one in your pocket right now. Thank you for joining the Coins ERA through this incredible ride. Keep checking those quarters, stay curious, and who knows what treasure awaits you next.